Okay. Hey, come on. Up here. Want to come up here? Okay. Hotel, hotel. Oh my goodness. Hey y'all. I'm having a little trouble getting Buddy to settle down. He's like I said, he's seeing every gecko out here for some reason. And today's warm. We got a nice breeze going, but it's warm already. We're having July weather in May, and not complaining. I'm good with it. But I know some of the people that are coming down here to visit, uh, they're probably rethinking, do I want to do this for months? Because it lasts all summer long here. We've been uh, we've been in the mid 90s all week, and the cool front that we're supposed to get on Thursday is going to bring it down to maybe 92, 93. So if that scares you, but no, it's we got a nice breeze going here. So under the awning, we're in pretty good shape till the sun moves. I don't think it's going to affect the iPad, but you never know. Sometimes that happens in the summertime. So not expecting it this early in the year. But we're having, other than that, we're having pretty good weather. We did have some good rain last week, and I think next week we might get another day or so of rain, which we really needed it. We really did, and hurts my heart to even say that, but we really did. So, how's everybody doing? Are you? Let's see. Let's see. I got to turn me down, and there we go. Okay, Patrick, how are you doing? And Mark Ryan. Hey, William says, hey, Sue, it's time for a Bloody Mary or two. Oh, I wish. Yeah, this would be a good day for that. Bloody Mary, nice margarita. Actually, margarita sounds really good. And Bloody Marys are kind of, those are kind of okay. If I like the places where they have the Bloody Mary bar where you can put everything on them that you want, because I can have a meal. I put the olives and all the tomatoes and all the other stuff in there, and I say it's a whole meal for me. Uh, hey, Jerry, Becky Forbes, it'll be a high of 58 here in north central Montana. Oh, honey, that makes my bones hurt. 58, yeah. Bill says hello from Well Point, and yeah, Porch sweating. That's about what it'll be. It's getting warmer as the days goes on. It's just noon, and we really don't reach our high point until 3. So you'll see us sitting here getting more miserable as the day goes on. But otherwise, it's pretty good. And Debbie says my plants look great. We know they have a hard time in this weather. They really do. I got to keep on them constantly. And then of course last week with them doing the roofing, they had them covered up and smashed some of them. And so they're coming out of it pretty good though. They really look good. So and I'm just surprised that they've you know these vincas. Let me tell you, I think when they started bringing a lot of them out last year. Up until that time, they'd have a few, but last year they started coming out with a lot of them. And and I started to do a red, white, and blue pot for for Memorial Day, and I ain't quite got that done yet, but I'm working on it. But they got so many of these vincas out now, and they don't have a blue; they got a purple, which that'll work. But those things last forever. I mean, I am really surprised out of all the flowers that I have that the vincas seem to hang on. So, and Buddy's been on the hunt. He's been after a gecko over here, and it's a pretty good sized one. But I keep telling him he has to leave these animals alone because one of them's going to bite his face off. I don't think the geckos will, but he was kind of after a big crane this morning, and we've got a crane, a single crane walking around here in the neighborhood. Been here for a while, and that's really unusual. You don't see them one at a time. You always see them paired off, and it could be one of the babies that has grown up and just likes this area. But normally you just don't see one at a time. And so, but he's been around here for about a week or so. But anyhow, Buddy kind of seen him this morning and wanted to have a chat with him, and he wasn't having it. Have you ever been up close to him? When you get close to the cranes and they think that you're going to be a threat or anything, the wings go out, and then they start jumping up and down. And when they start squawking, then you better get out of the way, because they will come after you if you get too close to their babies. But oh, Rich A says hi from rainy 53-degree Warminster, Pennsylvania. Man.
You guys see my shirt?
Oh yeah, you got to check out the shirt.
Can you guys see my shirt? One of my Discord people, Patriot members, what you want to call it, I mentioned about Willie Nelson's truck stop and what it was and everything. I said they had a shirt there years ago. I should have bought it while I could, but I didn't. And so anyway, I don't know where she found this. Racer girl, like I say, one of my Patriot members sent this to me. Can you read it?
Yeah.
It says poker in the front. No, liquor in the front, poker in the rear.
Yeah, yeah. That's he finally remembered it, Racer Girl.
Yeah, I was going to wear it last week and I totally forgot it. I blew it. She reminded me.
Yeah. Joanne Clack says, hi, Sue and Skip. Wish it was 90 here in Northeast Ohio. The high of 63 today and thunderstorms. Man, are you guys sick of the storms?
I almost wish we had a couple of thunderstorms come through here and cool things down a little bit.
Well, they're thinking Monday or Tuesday we might.
Well, look at that clematis vine over there in the corner of her house. Can you see it?
I can't, no.
It's on the corner of the house. You see them 3 palm trees sticking up there? My God, if you can't see that, you're not even looking in the right place. They're right there.
I can't see.
Oh, bullshit.
Between the bush and the chair, I can't see.
Yeah, they're way above that bush.
I'm not over there and I'm not 6
They're
foot
way
tall.
above that bush.
Well, I'm not 6 foot tall. I cannot see. Okay. You want me to go look?
No.
Okay.
Just never mind.
Okay.
Just forget it. It don't even exist. That house over there, can you see the house?
I can see. Well, which one are you talking about?
The lady whose husband died.
Oh, okay. Thelma. Okay.
See
Yeah.
the golf cart garage?
I see the roof is what I
Do
see.
you see the you don't see the garage doors?
No, I see the roof.
Never mind.
I said, I'm not 6 foot tall.
It has nothing to do with it.
Well, the bushes right here are in my way, so I can't see them. Deborah Bird says, hello, Skip. I like the shirt and the color of your new roof. Good, good.
Yeah.
We like that new roof.
I just want people to understand and I appreciate the comments saying like the color, it looks nice, blah, blah, blah. That was not the purpose of the video, looking for comments about how nice it looked. It was about showing people if your roof has them problems that I described on there, you may have a legal claim with the insurance or the warranty department of the company, and they may send you money to get the roof replaced.
Yeah.
And because I thought, everybody told me tree mold was normal, you just call a guy who would come out with a power washer, I guess, and wash your roof off. And he was telling me you can do that, but that's not going to cure the problem. The problem is the shingles are defective. That was the purpose of the whole video.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you know, thank you. We like the color too. We changed the color from what it was to a darker color. So, but it looks good. It kind of matches everything. I think pretty good.
Well, no, that's good. But I'm just saying, everybody leaves me comments saying, "Oh, it looks nice, looks great, looks good. I like the color." That wasn't the purpose of the video. I wasn't looking for a pat on the back. I was looking to give information to people, especially the new people that don't know. We didn't know.
Okay.
I've been here 10 years and didn't know that.
Yeah, but now, you know, that's not everywhere. It's predominantly in our neighborhood for some reason. And I said, but I know they probably do have other places that have it. But be aware, if you're buying a house, especially a used house, be aware of that kind of thing and take a look at your roof. You know, the house back here behind us in the cul-de-sac, it's for sale, is with Realty Executives. I seen this. They put the sign up this morning. Just listed.
Isn't that where Ira used to work? Realty Executive before he started his own company?
Yeah, it is.
So if somebody call Ira, he knows people that you probably work a deal with them.
Yeah.
Scott, Buddy, will you shut up?
You had the cookies. It's Scott and Cindy Dunn that has the house. And I was told it was $4.99, but I said, go check it out because I'm not for sure. That was just a neighbor that
You got a
said
golf
that.
cart garage?
It does.
Is it stucco?
Yes.
$4.99. That's probably about average price around here.
Right. Right. And it's and I said, I don't know. I was looking this
Have you
morning
been
to
in
see.
the house? Have you been in the house?
I only in one part of
So I
it.
think I was in the house when it was new, when somebody else owned that thing.
Well, Jerry played me a piece on the piano once, and he had a big piano in there, and he was.
Why, is he making a move on you, playing you the piano?
He's not
You sing
with
you a love,
us
you sing you a
anymore.
love song?
This was a long time
Did
ago,
he ask you to go out and have coffee? You got to
and
watch some of these old duffers around here, man. Like old Donnie. Donnie was a ladies' guy. You know that.
he was. Yes, he was. He was a sweetheart, but Jerry unfortunately isn't with us anymore. So that's why they're selling the house. The boys are selling the house. He died.
Who did?
Jerry,
Jerry.
the guy that owned the house behind
I
you.
don't know Jerry. I told you that
Okay.
before.
Well, and
That's
that's
when the original owner leaves, I don't want to know anybody else. I'm done.
well, like I said, he's they're selling the house, and like I said, they've had to wait like 90 days before they
What's
could even.
Judy doing over here?
Um,
She's had 3 or 4 trucks over there walking around, and
well, she was having a lot of work. She was having some work done on her sprinklers.
actually she has that done all the time.
Yeah, and then they put in the new
I
section
know
to
that,
her
but she done
driveway.
there's something else going on. I think she's looking at getting her roof replaced.
Well, and I said she was putting some more landscaping in the back.
They weren't doing that.
Well, I don't know what they was doing then.
I think she was having her roof looked at.
Well, probably, and she should.
Well, I don't know. I didn't mean I'm not making her do anything. I'm just saying the way they were walking around looking. I'm just wondering if she found out she's got defective shingles also. It seems like it's in this neighborhood.
Yeah, and then a lot of people do, but a lot of them are secondary owners, and so they won't do anything because
They don't know.
Well,
I'm the original owner. I didn't even know.
Well, I know, but I've tried to make everybody aware out here that didn't know about it. But like I was told that secondary owners, they have to transfer the warranty when they sell the place within 30 days to the new owners.
If you didn't know anything about the warranty, how do you know about the transfer? You don't know anything. That's the problem here. It's all kind of kept in a closet. It's there, but you got to go find it.
Yeah. Well, and but like I said, I was told that. I don't know if that's a fact, but
well, if one of the villagers told you that, it probably ain't a fact.
No, it was one of the neighbors that told me that because they asked about their roof, and I said they were the ones that told me because they were. Like I said, there's a lot of houses out here.
Well,
since
before we got ours done, every time we come out here on Porch Settin, it seemed like I hear them nailers around our neighborhood somewhere. Always.
Yeah.
Over here, over there, down here. That guy at the end of our street down here. Then our 2 neighbors over here, Tuggles and Sorgans. And then you say that they had a neighbor over there next to Sorgan that had it done too.
Yeah.
I mean, it just seemed like it was everywhere.
Yeah. And Eislers, I think were the first one they found out about it and told all the rest of us. But yeah, it's a problem. And I said, look at your roof, see what you're getting.
Oh, but you're going to get screwed no matter what. Trust me on that. You're going to get screwed. Because the only thing CertainTeed's going to do is give you enough money to buy it. They're going to replace your shingles. They're going to give you enough shingles to replace your shingles. That's it. No matter what you do, no matter what kind of pressure, no matter what kind of threats you do, they're just going to send you a letter saying, according to the law of Florida, they get this long. I got it. I mean, I've been messing with them for a while. And the last one I got simply said, this is our offer, and that's all you're going to get. We don't owe you any more money. You're not getting any more. That's what they said.
Oh, and Laura, that's the one. It's on Nursery Place at the cul-de-sac behind us. Yes, and the $4.99. Sorry,
Laura Lampy.
Yeah.
She buying it?
Well, and she looked at it. Evidently,
I saw she was on Patreon, I think, or Discord. One of them, and she made a comment on there that she may have had it by now. She was getting ready for her retirement party, which tells me she's within days of walking out of that place.
But she's got to sell her condo first.
Oh, I thought she already had it sold.
No. Not unless it's in the last couple. I don't know where it went, buddy. Not unless it's the last couple of days, but I don't think so.
Well, being in Chicago, I don't know about the real estate market up there, but I do know that when you got 15 billion people living in one little town, surely somebody would buy it.
Well,
I mean, the odds?
I don't know what the housing situation is up there, but
there's never enough. Everybody's looking for cheap housing.
Yeah.
Big city, everybody is. I don't care what big city you're talking about. They're always looking for, but they don't call it cheap housing. They call it affordable housing. And big cities have a problem with that because of the price of land.
Well, you don't know that's where she lives.
She lives just outside Chicago.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's cheap housing.
Oh, there's no such thing as cheap housing up there.
Well,
Not
that's
unless you
what I
go to the
mean.
ghetto side of town.
Yeah, and then Laura says her budget is not $499. I knew that, honey. But
Well, neither's mine.
yeah, but like I said, it's a nice house, and like I said, I was in there once, and like I said, he played the piano for me, and he used to come by when.
Did he ask you to dance?
No, he didn't ask me to do. He used to come and watch me paint when I was out here painting.
Pardon me, miss. You look like a meat eater.
Man.
Can I interest you in a side of pork or a slice of ham?
Yeah. Yeah, and I did miss a lot of comments, Wrestler. I'm sorry. Frank Clark says, "Ice given
You see what Chano did? They must have saw what he did on my tree and decided they wanted the diamond cut on both of theirs.
Yeah.
Now, before they got all them limbs out, did you have any idea they were that tall?
The trees, you mean?
Yeah. No, because you couldn't even walk around them trees without getting poked in the eye with them things.
No, and that's what she said. She was making Jose wait another week because they couldn't come until the 20th. So, but he did a good job. Him and his son come, and they did a good job.
He was here. I heard him this morning.
Oh yeah, Jose was. Yeah.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
The guy that mows the grass. Well, I call him Jose, but I didn't know that was his real name.
Yes, that is. So, Frank Clark says he likes the shirt. Fabulous. Finally going to put the house on the market next week. Can't wait. Wow.
Well, one thing I know about Jose, then he must be legal.
Yeah, I think
because
so.
the illegal guys all run.
Well, I think his wife is American anyhow.
Margaret, is that her name? Margaret.
Linda.
Either or.
Oh, Jerry put up the link for that house on
For
Zip.
my house?
No, on the one that's for sale.
I was going to say, is my house for sale now? Did any guys ever tell you the story about the time when I was younger? I mean, a friend of mine, we used to do pranks on each other all the time, and with him unbeknownstly know that, and Sue knows what I'm telling you is true. I put his house up for sale. Remember that?
I remember. And he got even.
Yeah, he got even. I'll tell you that story sometime. It's hilarious.
Okay. And Jerry says, rest in peace, Norm. Did you know Norm died?
Norm who?
The Cheers. Norm?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Seems like everybody I used to watch on TV are just dying, man, one at a time. They're all disappearing.
We're all getting old. Laura says, moderate sellers market in suburban Chicago inventory is low, especially for homes and condos.
Dumb question. Is that the guy that told you about weeding over here? Is that him? Looks like he's giving him the same spiel.
Is it little Louie?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
Somebody needs to tell him you're not allowed to go door to door here.
Well, find somebody that's going to do something about it. So, I'm going to start. Laura says, moderate sellers market in suburban Chicago inventory is low, especially for homes and condos under $350,000. Well, that's a good thing for you. If the inventory's low, maybe you'll sell it really quick.
Best thing that could happen to Laura if she puts that place up for sale and it gets in a bidding war, like they used to do here. They'd offer them, I don't know, 400. And I was there for a long while. I was representing people saying put in an offer above the asking price to have a chance. Those days are gone, but that's the best thing that can happen, man. They're getting a bidding war.
Becky Forbes says there's a bar in my hometown that had a huge sign out front and another inside with that saying on it. Okay. In her hometown.
I don't know, but that's what he's doing, going house to house. Can't do that here.
Well, like I said, I think, I think you got the facts mixed up. I think they can now. There's no pressure tactics, but I think they can. Okay. Yeah. Welcome to live chat, guys. We sit here and we act like, we don't know anybody's actually out there watching us. This is just us. And it's been nice. It's been a beautiful week out here. It really has, but hot. It's been hot. So if you're doing one of those activities where you're out in the sun, golfing, pickleball, that kind of thing, it's been a challenge this week. It has. So I said, me and Buddy's been real lazy this week because of the heat.
Am I going to have to put somebody in YouTube jail?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just watching. Never mind.
Okay. Ah. Well, I think it's we get a breeze every once in a while, wrestler. I think maybe it's moving the camera. He says either having an earthquake or the camera is having a seizure. So Laura says one of her neighbors has had her condo for sale since March the 2nd. Deals fell through. Second deal fell through 5 days before closing. My worst nightmare. Well, just hang in there, honey. It's like I said, this is the time of year, when kids are out of school. This is the time of year when people are looking. And it's up there anyhow. Not down here, but up there. People are looking while school's out because they want to get situated for the school thing starts again. And they keep starting school earlier and earlier every year.
They're asking Racy Girl how her chickens are doing. Do you keep an eye on that on Discord? But she puts pictures of her chickens up there.
Yeah.
Did you see the one where she has a special harness? I don't even know where you buy these things that fits her chicken.
Where you can walk
so she could take her chicken for a walk. I saw that. I laughed my ass off. I thought that was hilarious.
Becky Forbes says, Skip and Sue, best time to visit Montana is right after Labor Day, 70s and 80s, less crowded. Well, I said it'll be, I don't know if we'll get to Montana, but if we do, it'll be late June, maybe early July, but we will see. William said, did you know there's no fried rice on cruise ships because you can't walk on water? Okay. You lost me, William.
What?
What? Did you not hear me at all?
Wasn't listening.
Okay.
I figured you talking to them.
No, Claire May says they are allowed to go door to door because the streets are public. You don't live in a private gated
No, that's
community.
not true. It's not true. It was District 10 for a day I moved in. Matter of fact, I called on a lady and they came right out and told her she had to leave because District 10 did not allow that. That was our district rules. Public roads have nothing to do with it. They can drive on the public roads. They're not allowed to trespass on property. In order to come up and knock on your door, they're trespassing. So they don't allow that here.
Okay.
Don't be trying to tell me what I don't know. I've been living here probably longer than you know, and I'm telling you, you could not do that here. Now, if they've changed the rules, and this happens all the time, and it's like the roof shingles, it ain't like they send you an email saying, oh, by the way, we're changing this district rules. You don't know till you call in, and then they say, oh, we can't do that anymore. They changed that.
Okay.
Cindy. Who said they changed it? Maybe they did. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd seen a conversation about it, but I don't know if they changed it or not. Cindy G says Skip needs some help with Patreon. I don't see any videos since the roof videos. It gets your emails and no videos. I upgraded Patreon.
What about now?
She's having trouble with Patreon.
Well, this might be something she clicked in wrong. I don't know, because I got hundreds of people on there, and I'm on there also. Sue's on there. And listen, when it comes to technology, Sue's about as clumsy as anybody, and she gets on Patreon every day.
I'm not on Patreon.
You're on Discord.
I'm on Discord.
Yeah, well, it's just connected to Patreon. It's the same thing.
Well, I can't read any of the Patreon stuff.
The only thing different between Discord and Patreon is on Patreon, that's where the videos are at.
Oh, hi, Jessica. Jesse's on here.
Who?
Jessie, your granddaughter.
Oh, I almost forgot who that was. She never calls. I almost forgot.
You haven't got that lecture yet, Jess?
I talked to her the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was telling me about the house she's moving in. Or moved in.
Darson Hanger says, what is your favorite month out there?
Favorite month?
Yeah.
Oh, there's 2 or 3 months. October's a very good month for weather. November's a good month. I actually get right down to I really enjoy the winters here. All of it. Because that's the way we have 2 seasons here. Hot and cold. That's it. And in the wintertime, it's cold. The humidity's down to the zip. It does get chilly at night. Doesn't bother me. And, we're not dealing with snow and ice. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
And so it's just very comfortable. And then you don't have all the rainstorms. Hurricane season's over. And you can really sit back and relax a little bit. Only problem is in wintertime, That's snowbird season, most of it, and the buddy, and you have the crowds, you know. But if that's the trade off, crowds to hot weather, that's okay. I'll take the crowds, I suppose.
Darrison says, William, I get it, but I'm a Hawaii guy. I still don't get it, William. What am I missing?
Buddy, will you stop it?
It's a bird. Yeah. Can't have fried rice on a cruise ship because you can't walk on water.
I have no idea what that means.
Well, I don't either. And I said, Darrison gets it because he's an Hawaii guy, but I don't get it. And Wrestler says Skip's not listening because he's too busy eating those cookies he pulls out of his magic shirt pocket.
I didn't either. I brought him out here. I ain't got no shirt pocket.
I know. And you
See,
still got
Wrestler's lying right there, lying.
well, and you still got the tag on the shirt. So.
I do?
Yeah.
Where?
On your shoulder.
I don't see anything. I'm gonna leave it there.
I would say, look at the picture in the.
I see it now.
Oh.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah, and Becky says that's the busiest time of the year. Expect a lot of traffic. Gracie said in Virginia we have to post a sign saying no trespassing and no soliciting.
No, we're not allowed to have signs in the yard.
Yeah.
So that's why they made it a district rule. So all you know, even when we first moved in, they have a welcome thing. I don't know if they still have it or not. Remember that?
Yeah.
And they told us that when they come with a welcome basket or whatever it was they brought us, they always have their ID on right here. It's the village's welcoming department or something.
Yeah.
But after that, though, people come up here and would knock on your door wanting to test your water. That was the first thing.
Yeah, first thing was test your water.
Yeah, and
when you move in, that's probably going to be your first
and
visitors.
they told us that anybody that if I remember right, anybody that had permission to come here and go door to door like that, they had to have some kind of a village's ID thing.
Well, actually, the only ones that had that permission was the fire department or the police department. They were exempt for some odd reason.
Yeah.
But,
so that's why I say I'm still going by day one rules. How it was here.
Like I said, who enforces that rule? We don't know.
Well, I called on that one lady.
That's been a long time ago.
I know it, but you say who enforces it? At that time, it was the home watch people department came here.
Okay. Mike Cease is having a rule that you have to replace a shingle with the exact same brand. Seems like a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Somebody says, why put a 30-year shingle on your house if it's only going to last 10 years? I'd save the extra money. Well, first of all, Certainty bought the shingle. I didn't. Second of all, that's our district rule. We have to replace our shingles with the exact same shingle, but there's different colors approved by ARC that we can choose from. And the guy that came here was a factory rep, and he had everything we needed. He got the ARC approval. He gave us a card to pick out a color, and that's how.
Yeah, we don't know why that's the real Mike C, but it is. I think they want everything here to be.
They want everything to look clean and neat and the same. And no matter how many people say I don't like cookie cutter houses, and I understand that. That's the way it was in Indiana. You could have a single story house, and the next door neighbor could have a 2-story house. So it was all different. You're used to that. But really, I see the clean aspect here of everything being kind of the same. The way color of the houses are varying, but they're not bright. Now down south, we took a few videos of a neighborhood down there, and maybe it was an experiment. I don't know. They do that here. Remember the house? It was a bright blue house with like an orange front door. It was a brand new house. I just thought that was just yuck, you know. But there was more than one house that looked like that. Maybe not bright blue with orange door. It could have been a green house with a black door.
But I think that was, maybe a primer, and they weren't going to leave it that way.
I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I took pictures of it, and I said, look at this. What do you guys think of this? Next thing you know, I had 100 people telling me that I shouldn't be picking on somebody's house. Well, first of all, those houses were for sale. Nobody lived there. And they thought that I was being rude by making nasty comments. I wasn't making nasty comments. I said, look at this. What do you think?
But
people hear what they want to hear.
Laura, the granddaughter's getting married June 21st.
The what?
She wanted to know when the granddaughter was getting married. And it's not the one that's on here. I thought you said 26th. 21st.
Well, that's kind of short of time of getting up there.
I told you. And I said, for some reason, it's not clicking. You kept telling me the 26th.
I'm figuring sticking with it. It'll take me a minimum 5 days to get there.
Well, I know. And it gives us what? Because I can't leave until at least the 10th, the afternoon of the 10th.
I'm not
So,
even sure the RV will start. I ain't even started it.
oh, nothing like being prepared. Well, anyhow, Mr. Rizzo says that you're going to miss the warm weather in the Keys. They got an offer.
Do what now?
He said Mr. Rizzo says they're going to miss the warm weather in the Keys. They got an offer.
Oh, did they?
Mm-hmm.
Is he going to take it?
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you are. That'll put $1 million in your pocket.
Oh, Becky Forbes, I get it. You can't walk on water. Walk, W-O-K.
Oh, took him walk.
It took a while.
Man. Hey, let me tell you, Bill, if you have to think about them, they're no good. Jokes should just hit you like that.
Yeah. And you crack me up most of the time anyhow. That one I didn't get. So thank you, Becky. Claire May says thank you, Becky, because she didn't get it either. So, and Darrison says, Sue, a wok is what you use to whip up fried rice and all kinds of yummy Asian food. Yes, and I love Asian food. I do.
We used to have a walk when we lived in Hartford City, and we did it. We did a lot of walking. Yeah.
Okay.
I like stir fry. To this day, I like stir fry.
Mm-hmm. And Racer Girl says, I'm bummed I can't bring my girls to the villages. Well,
Can't bring his girls.
Racer Girl, she has the chickens.
I don't know that she can't bring them. Who says you can't bring them?
You can't bring them here. You can't put up
The
a
only
fence.
thing that it says in my district, anyway, it says all pets outside the house must be on a leash. She had her chicken on a leash. I don't see anything where it says
Well,
you
I don't
can't.
know how many she has, but
Well, I don't
yeah.
either, but I can't. I don't see anything where it says you can't have chickens in the house.
Yeah, you're relegated to so many. I think you only have 2, 3 if they're with you to start with.
If you move in the way it used to be, unless this has been changed, when you moved in, you're allowed to have three pets, 3 cats, 3 dogs. We'll just use those 2: 3 pets, 3 cats, 3 dogs. Now I know somebody's gonna make an issue and say, "Well, what about fish? Am I only allowed to bring 3 fish?" Listen, stop it. 3 cats, 3 dogs, and then when one dies, you're not allowed to replace it. Now, that's the way it was. I don't know that's the way it is now. But if you're going to buy a new house, if you have 4 dogs, you might ask.
Yeah, because they said you can move in with them, but when one dies, you can't replace them. You're basically stuck with 2. So that's what the rules are. Kathy Plum says, hi, Skip and Sue from Drury Cold, Michigan. And congratulations to Bill and Kyle on selling your home in the Keys.
What
From
part
Kathy.
of Michigan is she from? Is she an upper?
I don't remember.
Did they call it upper or ooper?
Uh-huh.
Is it an upper or ooper?
Well, it depends on who you're asking.
I like ooper. Ooper sounds funnier.
Well,
are you an ooper?
Yeah. But it's dreary and cold up there.
Huh?
It's dreary and cold up there. So,
enjoy it. It'll disappear overnight.
Yeah. The rest of how many times do you suggest residents low pressure wash your house? Yeah, and our guy was here last week, and we didn't have the stuff moved away from the house, so he's coming back because it really needs cleaning.
Oh, it ain't that bad. You make it sound like it's just terrible.
Turn around and look in your corner.
It's always in the corners right here because you got these plants here.
That's what I said. It needs washed.
Or get rid of the plants.
Oh, okay. And Razor Girl says, Skip, you have washed your RV roof yet?
No, I haven't. See, that's another thing I wanted to do. I wanted to wash it before we take off. The sides of it, I don't care about. I go to a car wash and do that before I leave town. They got a car wash that if I get down that road, and I may not be able to get down that road, but yeah, that's one of the things I want to do is I want to get the roof washed.
Okay. Mike C. said we submitted a non-certainty shingle for approval to the architecture committee, and they approved it. We're in District 10. Okay.
He did what?
They submitted a non-certainty shingle for approval, and I didn't know that they were supposed to be one manufacturer.
I don't think it means brand for brand. It says exact same shingle. Like we have a 30-year shingle, so you have to buy a 30-year shingle.
Oh, okay.
Now that's the way I'm understanding it. But it's all the same price. And the truth of it is, I have compared Certainty shingles. I take them to Home Depot with me. I've taken them to Lowe's with me. The stuff they got at Lowe's and Home Depot is cheaper. You can tell when you pick them up.
They're thinner. I seen
They're
them.
thinner, they're lighter, they're not near as durable, and you've seen how the winds are here when a hurricane comes through. Last thing you need is a thin, cheap shingle.
Right. But he said he submitted his for non-certainty
Sure,
shingle,
you
and they
probably could,
approved it. Yeah.
but I just soon stick with Certainty because one thing I know right now, that if something goes bad, Certainty will pay a claim. They paid me. And these other shingles like Home Depot and stuff like that, first of all, Home Depot don't have a warranty on that shingle. I don't know who made that shingle. No, I'll stick with Certainty.
Okay.
It's not that much more money to worry about.
Wrestler says, with a special shirt like that, are there special washing instructions?
I don't know. You'll have to ask Racer Girl.
Washing.
Yeah, you have to ask Racer. Is this a drink game? Are you guys doing a drink game again?
Jessica says, I want some coffee too.
Well, go make your own coffee. Go make that Hoosier coffee up there.
Hey, we'll send you some of Jose's coffee. You'll like it. You know, Jose makes the best coffee.
No, he makes coffee beans.
He makes coffee beans, yes. He roasts coffee beans. And so whatever type you need. He does have K-cups also. But he usually has the beans.
Down in my description box below, there's a direct link to his webpage that shows you everything he makes. And he's got a little YouTube channel where he shows a little bit on there.
Yeah, so, and he's working up to having a coffee truck. So we're watching on Discord. We're watching him assemble. Yeah, build that truck, and it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
POS 1 is being turned into his coffee truck.
Yeah.
So it'll be cool.
That's what we'll probably do sometime when he gets that thing done. We'll have him meet somewhere. I don't know where, because too many people shows up for a little house like mine, where we can have like a get together, and he'll bring his coffee cup and empanadas, and I'll go to a donut shop and buy 4 or 5 dozen donuts. Yeah, and we'll have him make some coffee.
Yeah, Jessica, when you coming down? When you coming this direction?
Who?
Jessie.
She moved out of this area.
I know.
She doesn't like us no more.
Well, Tammy Johnson says, hi, I have 2 customer service tickets into Patreon now. They're having issues with some of the members of Skip seeing videos. They do not know why, but are working on it. I'm having same issues. Huh.
I don't know. Nobody posts videos on Patreon except me. So if you're talking about people that's Discord members posted videos on Patreon, they can't.
Now, you having trouble with Patreon or Discord?
Yeah, there's 2 different things there. Patreon and Discord, 2 different things.
Yeah, Cindy G's having a problem, she says, on Patreon. So evidently it's something new.
No, it must be. No, because I was just on Patreon last night. And I set up a couple of videos that'll be released. One of them's going to be released on Patreon. Getting windy.
Okay.
I'll be back.
Yeah, we had a good wind gust there. So it's taking the camper in. Hey. Okay, well, I said if they say that they're having a problem and they're working on it, why it's something that we don't know about, I guess. So hopefully they'll have it taken care of soon. The problem with that, you don't know which button to push. Sometimes it gets half out here and it goes back. So, okay. And Bad Karma says the last new video he's seen was the roof video, which was posted on May 10th. Nothing since then.
What did you say about the roof video?
He said the last new video I've seen is the roof video, which was posted on May 10th.
That's probably the last video I did post.
Okay. Nothing since then.
Today, because you guys always get it early, the news will come out today for Patreon at 3 o'clock. It's already set. So that'll be the next video. I can't put a video out every day on Patreon. It's just way too much work. And because you got to remember, I got to have, when I do the news, I got to start early because Patreon members and YouTube members get it early. So I got to do it early. And then YouTube will get it like on Friday.
There you go. There's your chewy.
So that gets in the way. And then all them other videos, listen, it's just, you're not going to get videos every day. But what you do get on Patreon is going to be commercial free, unless I screw up. but they're always commercial free. And I put things on Patreon that I don't put on YouTube because of either language or because of music, things like that that YouTube just doesn't allow. And believe it or not, I've had a couple of videos that I put on Patreon because I couldn't even download them to YouTube because it said I said some words, and they sent me a list of words I'm not allowed to say. One of them was gun. And so I must have said something about when I was a younger kid, we used to go out hunting all the time, and I shot a rabbit. Just by those kind of words on YouTube now, they flag you. They don't know what you're talking about. Am I talking about shooting kids? I mean, it's all weird. So, and on Patreon, I've never had that problem. So that's why I keep leaning more and more toward Patreon, posting a lot of videos.
Okay. Wrestler says, Sue, did Skip just admit he likes vegan food, vegetable stir fry? He didn't say vegetable stir fry. He said stir fry.
I was going to say, Sue made stir fry, but she put meat in there. Usually like chicken, fried chicken.
I usually use chicken, yeah.
Yeah, and rice. I like all the crunchy stuff in my stir fry. I don't like lip noodles. I just like crunchy stuff, like onions. You put them in last so they stay snappy. There's such a thing as snappy when you cook. And carrots, radishes. I don't even know what all goes in a stir fry, but I just know that whenever we made it, I could eat a lot of it.
Yeah. And Mike C says a youper.
So a youper?
Yeah.
Okay.
They call people in the app, they call them youpers. Okay.
I knew it was something like that. I couldn't remember though.
Okay.
I was up there a couple of times. I went to Dow Chemical somewhere in my trucking days to deliver or pick up something. I forget. It was like Fort Knox, I'm telling you, to get in and out of that place. And then we used to go to Crystal Falls fishing.
Oh, yeah.
And that was in the upper part up there somewhere. What a great place to go fishing.
Was that in Michigan? I thought that was in
Look it up on the map. I thought it was in the upper.
Yeah, I thought it was Wisconsin.
No, that was Butternut, Wisconsin. We used to go fishing up there.
Okay.
Flambeau Floyd's.
Flambeau Floyd's.
Half of the lake was in Canada, the other half was the United States, and that's another great place to go fishing.
Oh yeah. Ham Radio Live says actually you can bring as many pets as you have when you arrive, but you can't replace a pet until you're less than 2 of them. We verified that before writing our offer. Okay.
I would say you want to check your district rules. They're all different. I know what it was here, but now you're talking. They're announced the other day they're in District 16. The rules are already going to be set. Here's how it works. The developer opens up an area. This is going to be District 16. It's all been approved by the Wildwood Commission, which he's got them all bought and paid for over there. So they say yes to it. For the first year, he personally puts in place the supervisors, the whatever you have to have in a district, the government. He handpicks everybody and puts them in place. They all work for him. That way, when he gives them that paper saying everybody in this district agrees to pay money to take care of all the recreation centers, they say yes. So when you buy that first house and move in, these rules are already in place. And in order for you to change them, you got to elect your own supervisors and stuff, have big meetings. PWAC gets involved with everything and may just make it more difficult, and then it's an issue. So that's how it works.
Patrick,
it's corrupt. It's a corrupt system.
Goodness. Patrick says, I have a neighbor in Ohio with 4 basset hounds. Every time one dies, she replaces it. Those dogs have been barking for 30 years. Oh, Patrick, I feel for you, honey.
That is a problem with some dogs. I don't blame a dog because it's in their genetics, like Buddy, the way he barks all the time. He's never going to stop. I call it he talks to you a lot. And he does. He has just a way of every day he gets in these habits. He'll come out there and he has these little, like, chirpy barks. I don't know what you call it, a little short little, and he's trying to tell you something.
Yeah. Yeah. And I said, it drives me crazy. I'm like, what do you want, buddy? But he has a bark for going outside. He has a bark for he wants to play. He has a bark for he wants his chewy. He just, we've been around him so much that we know what he wants most of the time, or I do. But sometimes I never know, so I'm bringing him outside. I'm giving him treats or whatever just to shut him up.
He probably wants them treats we're out of, because I usually give him one every day.
I have to go up to the pet shop to get those, and I just haven't been anywhere. So,
but you can get it from Amazon.
I tried different kinds, and I tried it from the pet shop up here in Brownwood, and he wouldn't take
those same treats. I bet you can type it in at Amazon; they'll come right up.
Well, do you know what they are?
I found my cereal when you said nobody.
Do you know what they are?
You've got the yellow bag in there.
No, it's gone. It's in the trash.
You're the one that bought them, and you don't know what they are. You bought something and you don't know what it is.
I do know what it is, but you know. But yeah, I feel sorry for you, Patrick. Williams is sorry it was above your head, Skip. I'll run the next joke by my ex-mother-in-law first. Okay. Kathy Plum says, we live in St. Joseph, Michigan, southwest corner of Michigan. Okay. So they're not quite in the up yet.
You know, that's the southwest corner of Michigan would be around Battle Creek. That's like real close to the Indiana line. That's not even close to the upper.
Oh.
Hooper.
Jerry, we're not trying to make you drunk. We just said the worst word a lot. Wrestler says Skip is trying to make us drunk today with his wash instructions.
Listen, these guys, for you guys new here, him, Wrestler, Jerry, maybe Rizzo, they're all moderators. They have this. They're here to watch everything. They have this drinking game. They invent these games, and like every time he says "wash," they make fun of the way we say it.
Yeah,
we'll take a drink.
Yeah.
So that's what they're doing.
Yeah. And then
I'm just guessing.
We say "wash," you know, and I know it's WASH, not WORSH, but that's what we're in the habit of doing. So you know, you take a drink every time we say "wash." So. Happy New Year to you. We're saying a lot today. And Mike C said, oh, okay, that we did that. Okay, then.
Is Jose on here?
I haven't seen him.
Well, everybody keeps saying hi to Jose.
Oh, well, then maybe we missed it.
Yeah, there he is, Jose Guzman.
Okay. Hey, Jose.
He must be over there watching his truck. I seen a thing on Discord, a little short video he did over there. Where they got the door on the back that races up. That's the hinges he was talking about they needed. Mm-hmm. And they got the door latch installed.
And now they've got a roof on.
That was a custom-made roof. I don't know why it was custom-made, but it was. So that's on. So I think now they got to work on the side doors, like a lunch wagon truck.
Yeah.
You know, the slop wagons we used
to get. It'd be a mobile
and then truck. On the inside there, I'm not sure what he's going to do. Shelving. I don't know. It didn't say, but they're coming along. It's all metal. So here's my problem with it. Is like when you shut the doors and stuff and driving down the road, they're going to rattle because metal against metal. They got to put a rubber gasket or something there just to keep that noise down. And
I'm sure they will when they get to that part.
We'll see.
Oh, wow. BJ says, does anyone else have problems with Xfinity Wi-Fi service? Constantly cutting out during movies on TV, iPad, phone, etc. Yeah, we had that trouble, BJ. That's why we changed. We changed the spectrum.
And that's not to say the spectrum's perfect. It's not.
But we have one of their what do they call him? I don't know what they call him. He's a customer service.
He was a customer service guy because he knew I was doing a live show in here. I think he watched it we did WDL all the time, and I was talking to him. He said, "I know you've got wherever we had Comcast," and he says, "And what are you getting?" So he had a machine. He checked it all out. He said, I was only getting like 100 megabytes of download and like 10 or 12 megabytes upload. I know all this doesn't make sense to me either, but that's what he's telling me. He said, with Spectrum, he said, for half the money, he said, I can give you up to 1,000 megabytes download, and something like 30 or 40 upload, which is like tremendously better than what I was getting. I said, well, and I explained about the live show, and he looked at my stuff in there, and I says, that's the thing. I want high speed. I just want high speed. Well, with Spectrum, I can't get high speed unless I am a legit business, and I have to file a business license with them in order to get the high speed. And I didn't want to go through all that, so I thought, well, okay, we'll give it a shot. He told me, he said, try it for a year. He said, if you don't like it, he said, you don't have to do it. You can always go back. He said, you can play the game.
Yeah, and I didn't want to change. As much trouble as I had, I didn't want to change.
Yeah.
But we did.
He told me, so I'll tell you what, to make it a little easier on you. He said, why don't I give you a free Spectrum phone for 1 year, and then if you don't like it, you can always cancel it, but you get the phone free for a year. And that's the same phone that I use now, still in there. I pay for it now, but for the call-in, to leave messages. Yeah. And I got his card. And I sent him an email here a while back. We actually lost power here. I don't remember how long ago that's been. When we lost power, Of course, you lose power to your internet. But I got a portable internet box that I carry with me. It's in there in the RV. So I turned it on to continue watching TV, but it's not powerful enough to operate the TV and the computer and all that stuff. But it's okay for one thing. So I sent him a text saying, "Hey, power went out and it came back on. And when it came back on, my internet's a lot slower than it was because I checked the speed on it." I said, "I've done it 3 or 4 times. It's not getting any better. What's going on?" And like within 2 minutes, he texted me right back. He said, "Okay, I'm gonna make a phone call and find out what's going on." 10 minutes later, he sent me a text saying, "Unplug your box and then plug it back in." So I done that, and then everything was working good again. So he's still around here somewhere.
Yeah. And like I said, that's the reason that we changed, because Xfinity, as good as it might be, trying to get anything fixed is a nightmare. You make a phone call, you're on the phone forever. They want to walk you through how to fix the thing, which never works.
I like the one where we'll send you a signal.
Yeah, and so you're better off if to go up to the office. They did have an office up on 441 behind Starbucks, and that's where the office was. But you go there and you take a number because they're pretty busy. But that's the only way you ever got anything done. You never got done anybody on the phone, and if they send somebody out, it's going to cost you. And so that's why we changed, and we've been happy we did.
And the nice thing about Spectrum for us, because we live down by Brownwood, you take 44 into Wildwood on 301, turn right. Spectrum's not far down the road, right there on the right. So it's convenient for us too.
Well, and like I said, I know where BJ's at, so I don't know whether they have it in her area. So, but and hello, Amanda. Amanda Hood says hello, and let's see. Jose says POS 1 is going full speed ahead. Good, good.
Well, William says a metal roof is the only way to go. Well, that's true, William. I'm not denying that at all. If I could have I wouldn't have got a standard metal roof. I'd get one of them designer roofs. The kind that looks like a shingle, but they're actually metal and they're insulated on the bottom, so when it rains, you don't really hear it. Those I would have. They're a lot more expensive than this. But I would have done that to know you're one and done. There's no more doing anything. They won't approve it. ARC says no. So that's the end of the game. I can't do it.
Becky Forbes says, I'm sitting on the porch too, admiring my crabapple tree in full bloom, and all of my lilacs are almost in full bloom. It smells wonderful.
Crabapple trees to me remind me a lot of those cherry blossom trees.
Oh yeah, they're pretty.
They were just all over, and you can smell them a mile away.
That's what she says. It smells wonderful with lilacs in full bloom and the apple tree. Wow. Yeah, I bet that is really nice.
Where do you live, in Woods?
She said she's in okay.
My dad liked locust trees on the farm. He would not cut them down because once a year at spring they would have these long blooms on them. I don't know what a locust tree. I don't even know what a locust tree is good for, but I can tell you that there was about 2 or 3 weeks out of the year you could smell. They bloomed everywhere in Knightstown, Indiana, is where the farm was at, and the whole town smelled like a perfume bottle everywhere you went.
Yeah.
Just like when we lived in Brownsburg, the best part of living in Brownsburg was when they were making donuts at the factory.
Oh, God, yes.
The whole town smelled like a
donut. 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, you could smell the donuts. It was because the factory started, they started early because they got them out to the all their distribution places, by 5 o'clock for some reason. So it smelled wonderful. Ham Radio Live says, looking forward to getting to the villages in June. Excited for this chapter of our lives. Larry and Karen in Oregon. Well, you'll love it here, Larry. You really will. And I said, it's got its problems like everything else. In the wintertime, the traffic's pretty heavy. And we try to keep them on their toes by telling them when they're not taking care of something. Because a lot of times the bosses don't know what the peons are doing. You know how that works. So I said, we broadcast when they don't do something that they're supposed to be doing. And I think it eventually gets to the big guys. You guys have seen some of the broadcasts where I think it gets to them.
I think we've done enough videos about the good and the bad around here where you should have a really good idea about how life is here, no matter where you live, even in a new area.
And then I said, we live here. I mean, it's not like we don't like this place. We love it too. We're used to moving every 5 to 7 years. So we've been here over 10. So, it's one of those things where Skip gets antsy, but we still love it here. and that there's just nothing like it. You won't find it, nothing like this anywhere. There's some smaller places around us. There's a lot of other retirement places, and Spruce Creek, Stonecrest, uh, what is the one in Ocala? On Top of the World. I mean, there's a lot of places around to retire, but this has the most of any kind of thing that you possibly wanted to do. I mean, they listen. They actually listen to the people that live here when they're wanting to put something new in as they're building those areas down south.
I
I
don't know if
know.
they do that much anymore.
Well, one area they wanted a pad for the guys with the telescopes. What do they call them? I
Huh?
forget what they call them. They wanted a pad for the guys with the telescopes. They've
All
got
right,
it.
that's a club.
Yeah. Well, and
Well,
like I said, they actually built them a pad in that. I think it's at Homestead Recreation. But they listen to what you want. They put in more walking paths down in the south instead of you have to walk on the multimodal trail. So it gets better and better. And I said, yeah, we're on the older end of things, and where the younger people
that's
are going.
weird. I feel like we just bought this house a year ago, and already I'm in the older section.
Yeah. Well, age has something to do with it. We can't change aging. It's the way it works. But you'll love it here. You really will.
Hurricanes. You want to inspect your houses for hurricane possibility of damage the way they're built. Get a good home inspector that really knows how to do all this stuff, because that's going to be their biggest issue when a storm comes through. It ain't the hurricane so much. It's going to be them winds, and it ain't really the rain, but it could be. We came in this neighborhood right after a big rain, and I checked it because there was nobody living here. The streets was full of sand. It was just it looked like a construction zone. And after a heavy rain, when I say heavy rain, I'm saying in a few hours they got like 10 inches here.
Yeah.
I mean that's a typical rain, 10 inches. I mean that's a lot.
And that's something you got to get used to, the Florida rain, because it
Yeah.
dumps it.
And I was just watching this whole neighborhood, how the water run between the houses and down the street. Did any of it back up? Did any area flood? And the answer here was zero. We had nothing here ever. You just need to know that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Um. Oh, and Jerry will be here next week.
Jerry who?
Jerry Bell. Okay.
She doesn't get it. She doesn't ever follow any of my jokes. Jerry who?
Rester says, I'm not in charge of his Patreon channel, so it is not my fault. I wash my hands of that channel. Have another drink. Um, Mike C says, I wonder if this video will get taken down now that Skip has said gun. Well, that's the one wonderful thing about this. This is live.
Yeah. They can't take you down when you're live.
Yeah.
What they do is I've been told by some people that know. I don't really know. I just guess a lot. They said that YouTube will ghost your video, and I said, well, I don't even know what that means. They said, well, when somebody goes to YouTube channel and say you type into Villages, Florida, there's a recommendation thing on the side there. You've probably seen it. Will be different people have channels about the villages, and they say you're not on it. Why am I on it? He said, because YouTube is ghosting that video. So I said, oh, so that's how it works. That's how some of these other people are getting 50,000 subscribers in a year, and I'm not, because half of what I do and say is probably contradictory. And so I'm ghosted all the time. So I opened up another channel for that specific reason, just so I could look, because this other channel doesn't know who I am, right? Unless I say I'm not Patty, I am Debbie. So I go in there and I type into Villages, and they're right. My stuff ain't there. All this other crap and stuff on there, my stuff ain't there. So I'm being ghosted, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Oh, well. Missy Mo says, hello from Drury, Southeast Michigan, 55 degrees out. Oh, Missy, it'll warm up. I mean, we're getting to the summer season, so it'll warm up there. Jerry says, you just like the name Flambeau Floyd. And it wasn't Flambeau Floyd, it's Flambeau Flowage.
Flowage.
Now, you'd have liked it if it was Floyd.
Yeah, matter of fact, you can see it in the northern part of Wisconsin. It's pretty close to Mercer, Wisconsin. That was the name of the little town. We went to this town. We was going up there to go fishing, and we stayed at Al's place all the time when we were up there. These places are probably not even there anymore, so don't go looking for that.
Yeah.
But Mercer, Wisconsin was there, and as we're going through town, seems to me we had to make a phone call, and I don't remember why. Dad was either going to call him to see if he had a camping spot open. We got there early or something. There was some reason why he had to make a phone call. Cell phones didn't exist back then. These are a great thing and great invention, really. There was a phone booth in town. One phone booth. There was like 6 people standing in line there. Remember that? They were standing in line there. And Dad says, well, I guess we have to stand in line and wait to use the phone. It was crazy.
Yeah. Megan says, I saw the new rec center is themed off a hot air balloon. Sounds nice. Only they don't spare anything when it comes to these rec centers. I mean, I've been in some of these other retirement places, and your rec centers look like a prison library. You know, it's the old nasty green, and anyhow,
You talking about our regional rec centers?
any of them, the
But
regional,
really,
the neighborhood.
especially the regionals, though.
Yeah, the regionals are
there's no better
spectacular.
rec center here than Eisenhower.
Yeah, the regionals are spectacular, but the neighborhood rec centers are too. The design that they put into them is just it's tremendous. It really is. It's not like something you've ever seen. And I said every one of them is that way, not just one. Every one of them is that way. And I don't know exactly how many we have here. I have it written down somewhere, but
Well, they keep adding on. You
yeah,
can't keep up with all this.
the same way with pools. But
Same thing with swimming pools. They keep adding on.
but yeah, the
Golf
themes that
courses.
they use. You
Better.
know, sometimes the theme like the one for the first responders. That's a theme for one of the rec centers in the northern area, in the Mulberry area, and it's I said it's just what it sounds like. You know, first responders. That's all the stuff that decorates that rec center, and just like Eisenhower.
Well, they're getting ready to build a new one in the historic side. The plans to
redo Paradise. Yeah.
yeah, they're going to start tearing Paradise down. It's been approved. I don't know what the date is, but that'll be a couple of years in the process. But they're going to tear that rec center down, and build a brand new one. And I've already seen drawings of what they're going to build, and it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah. Like I said, they just don't spare anything. Even the sales centers. You go to the sales centers. I'm walking around in the sales center just oohing and ah because they just are so different. They're just not, like I said, they're designed and decorated beautiful, and so you'll like it.
I went to the sales center down here. It was a Brownwood, the one that's made up of cowhide and leather chairs. Is that Brownwood?
Uh-huh.
That one. I went in there. I forget why I went in there. Maybe we didn't close in there. We closed at the bank, right? I don't know why. Anyway, we was in there for something. Whatever it was, makes no difference. Then I found out if you go to the back of the room back there, there's a big long counter with a coffee machine on one end and a popcorn machine on the other. So I went in there to get free popcorn and coffee.
Yeah, and they used to have the logo store in there. The Village's logo store used to be in there, but they've moved it. It's at its own place now. But yeah, they're just beautiful. My one granddaughter was just in awe. They've got one chair in Brownwood in that sales office that I could sleep in that chair. It is so comfortable, and it's big. It's I don't know. It's leather, but it's the really soft leather. It's just wonderful. But like I said, on the posts in between the rooms, you know, how they've got, what do they call them? Them posts, dividing posts. They're covered with hide, with cowhide. And my granddaughter's standing there petting this pole because he said, this is so weird. Wrestler says, Sue gives Buddy snacks just to shut him up. Is that why Sue buys Skip all those cookies? Yes.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, I buy him all those cookies because he's got a sugar thing. And if he doesn't have anything all day long, he's a pain in the ass to get along with. So I got to feed him some sugar every once in a while. And then Jose says, I am here, old man.
I saw him on there a while ago.
Okay.
I figured he was down there watching his welder guy working on his truck.
Sally Tepper says, I'm enjoying my morning.
He was in Orlando. Did you know that he has a big restaurant in Orlando? He takes beans down to about once a month, to a month worth of beans.
I don't know. Was it the Juan Valdez?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He he roasts his beans like 100 pounds at a time for that guy. 100 pounds at
Cool.
a time.
Well, I said that's funny because you know that's what the commercial used to be. Juan Valdez and the coffee beans.
Well, he said at one time, he says, "Hey, if you're a village resident, he personally will deliver your beans to your house." Well, he's in Orlando.
Yeah.
I don't think the villages went that far.
Anyhow, Sally says she's enjoying her morning cup of Jose's coffee. And William says, has Jose ever introduced you to his brother, Jose B? Bill, you kill me. Dearson's Hanger, Malibu Barbie Ship Blend. Well, that's probably
Malibu
pretty
Barbie
good.
what?
Ship Blend.
Ship blend.
Ship. As in boat, ship, blend. Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. That must be what
One
he
of
gets.
my Discord people, I don't know how he does this. I swear to God I don't, because it was a great job. He can manipulate. What's his name? I forget his
Brad.
name. Brad.
Brad Shea.
Brad Shea. He can manipulate pictures to do anything he wants it to do. He does a really good job. If you're on Discord, he showed Chitty Chatty sign down here. He changed it to something like Barbie neighborhood, Barbie chat, whatever. I can't remember now. And he had different stuff in there. And then the other day, he had a picture of me and Jose in the POS one. I think that was a picture that Jose posted a long time ago. We were going to go somewhere, who knows where. Probably went to the drug house over there in Leesburg he wanted to go to. They looked like a cartel family to me. So anyway, we went over there, but he took his picture. And so Brad took this picture, and it's the same picture, but outside the window on my side, I'm wearing an ice hat. No, not for any particular reason. I just grabbed that hat and I'm wearing this ice hat. And there's these two cops standing outside our window on my side. I swear to God, it looks like they're just standing there talking to me. And he made some kind of comment about it, you know. And then somebody said something like, "What? And you didn't offer the cops any coffee?" Next thing I know, he puts another picture up. Me and Jose's holding a cup of coffee, and these two cops has got coffee. I swear to God, I don't know how he does that.
He's very, very good. Yeah. Rester says, Skip, I finally got to watch that video link you sent me. I emailed my guest how he did it. So he sent you an email.
Yeah, he sent me something. I read it. I'm not sure I grasped the whole shebang there, but yeah, I'm trying to figure that out. Not that I'm going to do it. I see certain things. I watch other videos to see how they edit, because editing is 90% of the job is editing, and it's tough. And I always try to stay one step ahead of everybody else. But some of these people are just better at it. So I seen something, and I called him up, and I said, "How did that? I'm gonna send you this link. You look at it. You tell me how he done this, because I don't know how he done it." He looked at it, and he wasn't sure either. But he's been looking at it himself. Some of this stuff you just have to figure out.
Yeah.
And it's tough. What he does, and this is what I'm trying to figure out. This guy, he does a lot of solar installations, and he shows on his videos how to install stuff in a home or in a RV or something like that, solar stuff. Well, he'll be talking. He goes live, and as he's on a computer talking to you and telling you, answering questions, just like we're doing right here, he somehow he's here. Let me bring it up for you, and he gives his phone, and next thing you know, the face of his phone that I see that I'm looking at pops up on the screen. And as he scrolls through it, you can see him scrolling through it on the screen. And then he'll stop somewhere. He'll be right here. See that right there? I don't know how he does that. I want to know how he does that.
Okay. Joy Hudo is here.
Who?
Joy Hudo.
Oh,
Hey, Joy. How
I
you
ain't seen her
doing?
for a while. Yeah, she was on here last week. Wasn't she?
Yeah, I said, good to join in. It's a beautiful day today. It is. It's beautiful out here today. Like I said, the wind gets a little ferocious at a time, but not bad. Feels good in this 90-degree heat. Mike C says Spectrum is raising prices on us again for internet. It was $75 per years ago. Now it's $125.
I think our internet here with Spectrum is like 90, isn't it?
I don't know.
I think it is.
Unless I have it automatic, and I
think
need
it's like
to
90
check
bucks
that.
a month. I mean, I hate to pay that too. I think along the line we're getting ripped off, but what are you going to do? I mean, that's just the way
Yeah.
it is right now.
And
You know, at one
take him. He sees Fred.
Stop it. Stop it. You're not going over there.
Hey, Rosemary. Rosemary Laptop's
You're not
here.
going over there. No.
William says, my father was a conjoined twin.
No.
We called his brother our uncle on our father's side.
Stop. Stop.
Stop, Bill. William. T. McCall says, hi, buddy. Yeah, Buddy's seen the neighbors, and he loves the neighbor next door, and he wanted to go over there. So, but Rich A says Comcast in Pennsylvania cuts my service every Tuesday for 2 hours during day upgrade service. This is going on for 2 months. Oh my goodness!
Buddy, stop it.
Well, I don't think I could stand that. And Barbara says she's loving the blonde hair. Blonde, I know it was brown, but well, thank you.
Maybe she's drunk.
And Amanda Hood says, yes, we have a metal roof on our house here in Michigan. Well, and I like the metal roofs, and there's a certain area here in the villages that they're allowed, but very few. You know, it's just Caroline by the Lake is allowed, and that's the only ones that I know of. And it must have been one of those experimental things, and then they decided not to let it go any farther.
That was just the look of that neighborhood. They say, I forget what they call it, but they wanted to have a Key West look. And if you ever look at Lake Sumter Landing, it has a Key West look about it.
Right.
And so that was the whole idea of having some of them metal roofs in that one neighborhood by Lake Sumter Landing, was to give it a Key West look. And we went through that neighborhood. First of all, we found it by accident. We didn't even know that neighborhood existed. And I said, man, if I could afford any of these houses here, I'd love to live over here. And I would. But today, those houses are way past my billfold.
Barbara Abner says, smart to get that roof done before hurricane season. Hopefully nothing hits the villages.
We'll see.
Yeah, your mouth to God's ears. I'm hoping that we don't have any problem. But I said, if we do, we got a new roof.
Well,
and I said, the guy was very, very good about, telling us to call ahead of time. The roofer was very good about telling us to call ahead of time and let them know if, what was that about? I'm not sure exactly what he said. They're calling him 2 days ahead of time.
The only thing he cared about was picking up a check.
I'm going to stick him to his word.
Yeah.
Because
everything else was ramble.
Well, he said call a couple of days ahead of time if there's a hurricane, and they could take pictures of the roof. And then if we do have any damage, then it's not hard to show the difference between that and the damage to the insurance company. So, but
one thing I remember asking him was about the warranty. I said, when we get this done, what kind of warranty do I have? And he explained it to me, and I've already forgot. But I know it's in that packet in there.
Yeah. Let's see. Kevin Jackson, Sue is right. Xfinity can be tough. They are. If you try to get a hold of them, and I said on the phone, it's almost impossible. You're better off just get in the car, go up to the office. Like I said, it's up there on 441. Like I said, it's right behind the Starbucks there. And like I said, you got to take a number, but they get to you, and you can explain exactly what's going on. And I said,
but what's inconvenient about that is there are some people here that simply can't really drive.
Right.
They take their golf cart everywhere. You can't get there by golf cart. So what if you need to go there?
Well,
Uber it all the time? I mean, I don't know. I mean, here's how I look at it. The people here are old. Most of us are old. And we just don't want the frustrations in life that we've been dealing with our whole life everywhere else.
Yeah.
And so that, to me, is a frustration.
And to be on the phone for 2 or 3 hours for
it's
that
just crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm not interested in it. And people say, well, but they're cheaper. I don't care. It's all about convenience. I got one of the call-ins. I checked my voicemail a while ago, and there's a question on there that I'll be doing a video about on that voicemail call-in stuff I'm trying to get going. And I'll deal with it. And it's a good question. And it's one of them questions that I don't have a hard answer for you, but it'll be one of them big, long explanation things that I know you guys just love.
Okay. MKM Mitch says Xfinity in Utah is also bad and expensive. We got fiber now and way better. I know some people in the villages do have fiber. Is it in your area? Way less expensive.
District 10, where I'm at, yes, we do have fiber. I can't speak for anybody else.
He said, and then switch to Hulu and cap my bill by 70. Yeah, it's
who does fiber here? CenturyLink?
I think it's CenturyLink.
Yeah, I think it's CenturyLink. We have 3 systems here.
Xfinity, Spectrum, and CenturyLink.
CenturyLink. Yeah. Some of
Xfinity is the old Comcast.
some of these neighborhoods don't have that. Somebody we talked to here not too long ago said up north where he was at said they have one choice. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So be very careful where you go. If you want Spectrum, make sure the neighborhood you're looking at buying a house in has Spectrum.
Right. Becky Forbes is in town, north central Montana, just east of the east entrance to Glacier Park, near the Canadian border. So that's where she lives, Becky Forbes. She's in central Montana.
Also, keep in mind that even if you buy a house in an area that don't have the Wi-Fi you want, it's expensive, I know, but it is alternative. You have things like not Central. What's this portable stuff that you can buy for your RV now? Elon Musk runs it. What's it
Oh,
called?
Starlink.
Starlink. You have Starlink for the house you can get, and you own it. It's a monthly fee of, I've heard something like $125 a month, but you got to buy the stuff, and all that is like $600. But I understand it's easy to set it up. And then there's some other ones you got. You got like I can't think of all the names all of a sudden. My mind's blank, but they got one called like Netgear. No, that's not right. Anyway, they got a couple of them that you can put in your house, turn them on, and everything in the house will connect to it. And you have your own Wi-Fi that way. And I don't know what the names of all of them are, but actually, if you go to the different RV channels on YouTube, you'll see them talk about them. And you can put them in your house. You can take them with you. I think it's a good idea, but it's a little pricey.
Something I did notice, I read in the paper the other day that when we were driving up the East Coast, Cox Communication had all the Wi-Fi along there.
Who did?
Cox.
Cox. That was awful.
The worst Wi-Fi I've ever had, and it was all the way up the East Coast. I did see in the paper the other day that Charter Communication is buying out Cox, so that might be a plus for y'all that live over on the East Coast. So
I don't know what it is about Cox. Maybe if you have a Cox telephone, everything works fine. I don't know. Well, I got Verizon, my cell phone. We had the computer. We had all this stuff. We'd go into these different places that had free Wi-Fi, like McDonald's, the hotels we were at,
libraries.
It was the worst Wi-Fi I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it really was. I'm hoping that's a plus for you guys, really, because I've not heard that much bad saying about Charter Communications. So, okay.
I wonder what wrestler names got up there in Pennsylvania, because they're kind of close to that East Coast.
And I don't know. Yeah, wrestler, do you have Cox up there? You seem like you got pretty good Wi-Fi.
Yeah, he was just down at Washington D.C., so maybe Washington D.C.
Becky says 45 minutes to Glacier Park. She's 45 minutes from Glacier Park in Montana.
What do I care? How do we get on the subject of Glacier Park?
That's where she lives. 45 minutes from Glacier Park.
I'm not going to Montana.
Okay.
I'm going up North Dakota and then turn around. And I'm going to hightail it right straight back here.
We don't have to do that. I mean, we have to go quick to get up there, but we don't have to be quick
You
coming
have
back.
treatments every 6 weeks. You don't figure this stuff out very well. I'm the one doing the driving here. It's going to take 5 days to get there. We're going to be up there for a week, getting ready for weddings and taking them out to dinner and who knows what else.
Okay, that gives us 4 weeks to get back.
No, it ain't.
Take a week to get up there.
Whatever. We'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
I don't know yet. We'll see.
Okay.
But I don't think I've got the time to mosey around over here in the mountains. And
okay. Let's see. Kevin says Eastport looks great. It does. I said they keep doing more and more videos on it, and I can just see it's going to have that wow factor, and that's, if you notice the difference between Lake Sumter and Brownwood. Lake Sumter has that wow factor. I think it's the water thing. I'm not sure, but I think it's the water thing, and Eastport's going to have that. Only they've upgraded everything to where you're going to be able to use that water over there where you can't in Lake Sumter, other than taking the little boat rides. But over there you're going to be.
That's because, once again, things get all messed out of shape. That lake is privately owned. The developer's company owns that lake. That is the largest man-made lake in the state of Florida. I'm sure somebody out there will want to disagree with that, but that's exactly what it is.
And yes, wrestler, that's why I meant astronomy club, but I words don't come to me as well like they used to. Jerry said, do they have a car wash club? I don't think so, but you never know.
I don't know, but speaking of car washes, though, they got a thing here that you might be interested in. Sue did it for a while. I don't want to go into them anymore. Because I don't know if it had it or not. But anyway, you can buy a yearly ticket, kind of like ticket
Yeah.
card, and
You,
you can go through the car wash as many times as you want in a year.
yeah.
But now I think you have to take the same car. In other words, if you own 5 cars, you can't get this ticket for one
No,
car.
because it goes on my windshield. The
Says
thing
what it
goes on
is.
my
Okay,
windshield,
yeah.
and I can go through there, and I don't have to pay. But I
So
can go
every
as
time
many
she
times as I
goes,
want.
everybody says, "Well, your car's always so clean." Every time she goes to town, she goes to a car wash.
But I haven't lately because I had a problem with a big scratch on my car. I don't know if it come from the car wash or not, but I haven't been in there lately
If it's
because of
no
that.
touch, you didn't get that from the car wash.
Well, I
I don't
don't.
want these car washes with the big brushes. I don't want them.
Well, they don't have brushes. They have the microfiber cloths.
I don't know if I like that either.
Well, that's what I haven't been there. So, there's another new one they built down the street. So I might try that out and see what they got. But it's kind of nice to keep it clean all the time. My problem is the inside. I got to do the inside, and unless I pay somebody to detail it, and and I can't see doing that. So it's a pain in the butt to have to keep it clean.
Oh, it's just a pain in the ass.
Uh,
It really is.
Darson says the sky is so beautiful there, especially after rain. It is. It's beautiful there. I love it when I can come out and look at blue skies. Now we've got a few little puffy clouds today, but still the blue. There's days when you come out here and you see nothing but just endless blue. It makes you think you're on a ship. You're out in the middle of the ocean.
This time of year, I'm always watching these birds just kind of sail around so effortlessly, just kind of like just following the breeze.
Yeah.
Half of these birds is here don't belong here. They need to be out in the ocean. That's an osprey. I know what that is.
Okay. William says I keep trying to give a thumbs up, but it won't take it. It stays 0.
What's that?
Says he keeps trying to give a thumbs up, but it won't take it. It stays 0.
I don't own the internet.
Okay.
If it's not working right, the only thing I can tell you is shut your phone off, turn it back on again.
Okay.
And the thumbs up that I really need, really, is not the thumbs up that you see on the video. I need that with a thumbs up that when the video's over and then you see the description box below and then there's a thumbs up. That's the one that YouTube goes by.
Okay.
Because these thumbs up here, like I could say something on there like say, WrestleMania for a Pennsylvania native, he isn't too ugly. As a joke. Well, somebody can put a thumbs up on that comment, but that's not a
Okay.
thumbs up on the video.
Yeah. Kevin says the San Tropez rec center should open this week. That's the newest one down there. And are they what is it? The new area is now Oak Terrace, I believe. Rester says, "Racer girl for the win. Wash those streets." T.R. Maine says, "Hi, Skip and Sue. I'm finally off work for the summer. How are you?" We're doing really really great, Robin. I'm glad you got the summer off. And she's a teacher. So what do you do in your summers? Do you find an extra job, or do you do a lot of vacationing, or what do you do in your time off during the summer?
Who?
Robin.
This Robin?
Yeah.
I think she's a school teacher.
She is, and she's got the summer off.
School teachers ain't necessarily get the summer off with kids. A lot of times, school teachers are required to come in for, I don't know, upgrading stuff and teach summer school. And
Yeah. Well, she says she's finally off work for the summer.
She what?
She's finally off work for the summer.
She's off work for the summer?
Yeah.
Well, then there's no excuse why your man doesn't have a meal waiting for him when he comes home into a perfectly clean home. And the only thing he wants to hear out of your mouth is, yes, sir.
Go find something fun to do, Robin. Rester says, I heard it's Rizzo says, I heard that there are 3 pools down south that are open till 11. There may be. I don't know that for a fact.
It's a county rule.
The reason that some of them aren't is because they don't have the lighting.
Well, it's a county rule. Sumter County here, and if that's in Sumter County, that's a lie. Sumter County has a county rule. That's the reason why they're not. If you don't have lighting, like she said, at the pool, you must close by a specific time. That's a Sumter County law.
Okay, some of those are in Lake.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. If it's in a different county, I don't know what that rule is, but it's not a village's rule. Don't get this mixed up. This is a county law. So whatever that rule, because didn't at one time at the historical area they were open till like 11 o'clock at night,
Yeah.
and that's Marion County.
And Marion or Lake, one or the other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's a different county, and they don't have lights at the pool, but they can still stay open later.
Well, I think they did.
They did.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we don't have lights here, so we got to shut down by a certain time. And it's weird because they tell you got to shut down, say, by 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. And in the summertime, the sun's still out.
Yeah.
And you can't go to the pool.
Racer Girl says, I forget what village, but a lady petitioned to have a second wheelchair curb at the mailbox building, and they said yes.
Yeah, if you apply for it and they approve it, then you can do it. The problem you're seeing in some of the news videos is the people are doing it. Somebody complains, they go out and inspect it, and they say, yes, that was not approved by ARC, and ARC is the worst down here. I'm telling you, they don't thumb your nose to them, because what they're going to do is say, you got to take it out. And then you take it out, then you got to reapply to have that put in. And then they may say, yes, you can put it back in.
Now, this is at a postal station, so that's the postal station itself is government owned, but
Yeah.
the land sitting on it is the developer.
What are they putting at the postal station?
Another wheelchair ramp.
They don't have one?
They had one, she wanted a second one, and they approved it.
You know, on when it comes to the postal stations, I don't understand this. You go to grocery stores around here, the sidewalk kind of goes down to the parking lot. The whole sidewalk. Why don't they do that at the postal station?
Don't know. But yeah,
I know
but
why. They don't want golf carts parking up there on the sidewalk.
Well, that could be. But I'm glad that they did put in a second one. That's good for her. William says, yeah, okay. Laura says, I had to leave for 40 minutes, interrupted by work phone call, 11 days until our day. 11 days for Laura.
I know, she's counting down there.
Good for you. Yeah. Ham radio.
She's been counting down at least for the last 6 months that I know.
Yeah. Ham Radio Live says, thanks, Scoo. You're very kind. We really enjoyed our lifestyle visit in March. We wish that our lifestyle home had been closer to the other town squares, though. So many wonderful things to do. It is, and that's something you have to take into consideration. Now, they will be building down there. You know, Eastport will be open soon. Middleton, as the stores are starting to open there. And so they'll have a lot more down there. It's just taking some time.
They always put the lifestyle homes, buddy, generally speaking, where they're building new homes. That's where the lifestyle homes generally is.
Right, and they must have been down in the southern end. So, but okay. And Jose says they have two in that area to open that late too. And he's in the historic area. Yeah, we know in the historic area they do.
Yeah.
And TR says nice weather in Oklahoma today, low 70s. That's kind of perfect for you guys. And Rester
What
says,
famous person was born in Oklahoma, died, I think, in Oklahoma, and buried in Oklahoma, and it's the most celebrated movie star of Oklahoma? I hope you know, because I can't remember his name. Yeah.
Yes, question. Don't know
Murphy.
the answer.
Audie Murphy.
Audie Murphy. Yeah. Okay.
Because there's a rest area off of the toll road there in Oklahoma. I think it's Highway 44, turns into a toll road, and there's a rest area. You get off in this damnedest rest area you ever saw. There's a bridge at this rest area, goes over the interstate, but you go inside, it's like a museum. You see pictures of Audie Murphy, you see his outfits, his horse, all kinds of stuff in there.
Yeah. Now, somebody that's not as old as we are probably don't know who Audie Murphy is. But, you know, he was a big war
hero.
Correspondent, and I see he was big. He was an actor.
Let's just say for a little guy, he was badass.
Yeah, he was. And you know, and the only person I could think of from Oklahoma, and I think he was from Oklahoma, is Roy D. Mercer. Wasn't he from Oklahoma?
He's just a radio guy.
I know, but he's funny. If you ever go on YouTube and look up Roy D. Mercer.
There's two things I used to like to listen to talk radio a lot, because it's more interesting to listen to the same music over and over and over again when you're in a long haul trucking. And I used to listen to talk radio. So I like listening to Truckin' Bozo out of Cincinnati. And then I would listen to Roy D. Mercer when I got out to Oklahoma, radio show early in the morning, kind of like Bob and Tom. And then I would listen to Click and Clack coming back. Now, they're gone now because one of them died, but Click and Clack were a couple of brothers that were mechanics. They worked on cars, and people would call in asking about questions about particular cars. And these guys were just, they were just funny to listen to. They just had this personality that you like to listen to it. I often like to compare myself having a likable personality that people just like to listen to.
Yeah.
No?
Well, what can I say? I married you. Okay. Teen Cup 131 says my grandson enlisted with the U.S. Navy. Well, good for him. That's you know, we don't pay enough attention now. Here in the villages, I think they said 1 out of 7 people here were military related. They were in some kind of military job or career or something like that. And we have a lot of military here. The Veterans Park here, actually, they were doing a some kind of memorial this morning. I think over in Wildwood. It was like from 11 to 1, and it was for veterans, I believe, at the Wildwood Community Center. But we have a Memorial Park, Veterans Memorial Park over in Spanish Springs, and they do a lot there, especially on all your holidays. And I said, it's kind of, you can buy a brick, you know, if you have a loved one that's passed away, you can buy a brick with their name and have it put in the memorial section over there. It's kind of cool. We did that for a friend of ours that lost her husband, and he was a veteran, and so we bought him a brick of all things. But you know, you just don't know what to do in that kind of a situation. But instead of flowers, we bought a brick to memorialize him, and I think that's kind of cool. But it's really,
Wrestler says, you know, guys, I was going to make a comment about Sue asking me if we have access to Cox. But I actually let it go.
I'm sorry. I did say Cox Communication, didn't I?
Apparently not.
Yeah, okay. Henry Live says Eisenhower Rec Center is stunning. There has to be over $1 million worth of memorabilia in that rec center. Yes, I mean, and most of that is donated. Not all of it, but most of it is donated from people that lived here, and they didn't have. They have all this war memorabilia that's been handed down from World War I, World War II, and what have you. And kids didn't want it, didn't have any place to put it, and so instead of letting it go to whatever antique store, it was donated to the villages to put in Eisenhower. And it's just anybody that comes down here, that's one of the stops it should make. Even if you're here for a couple of days, stop at Eisenhower. It memorializes all the branches of the service. And I said, when you go in the door, you go in the front door, turn around and look up. And I said, up on the second story balcony, there is all these mannequins with the uniforms of all the services up there,
including nurses and things like that.
Yeah, it is. It's stunning. It really is.
We took my cousin there when he was here for a short run. I think it was Ron, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we went in there, and he's retired Air Force, and he was fascinated by it.
Yeah.
He would go through there and go, "Oh," and he'd point at something. "Oh, sea rations. I've had my," you know. It's just a fascinating place to go.
Yeah. Henry Elias, guys, would you recommend a gas-powered golf cart or an electric one? Well,
it's a matter of opinion. I can tell you right now, probably the top seller is these new lithium-powered golf carts. Everybody's getting them. Linda just got a new one, and she had a Yamaha gas-powered, the Quiet Tech, which I think is a great golf cart. I probably would have kept that, but she let it go because she wanted to get this lithium-powered golf cart. And she's not the only one. Jose got one. It seems like everybody's getting them, and then even in our neighborhood with some of the new people moving in, I'm seeing them all running up and down the road here.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with them. They're quiet. I don't know about maintenance costs. I know lithium batteries are really expensive. How long do they last? Good question. Don't know.
Yeah. And we ourselves, we have gas, but we don't use the cart that much anymore. So I said, we have gas, but we don't use the cart that much.
We had an electric cart when we came here, but it's the older electric carts they had years ago called Park Car. I think they're still around. I don't know. You know, it's just a matter of what you like, what you don't like. I just get sick of hearing the same stupid remarks about gas carts. You know, get over it. Mm-hmm. You don't smell that stuff on the highway, do you? But it's still there. So I get tired of hearing that. But I will say the electric cars are quiet.
And then they made a lot of improvements to the gas cars with the Quietech, and then
They're not near as noisy as mine.
yeah, and the lithium the lithium cars. The only problem I have with them is they can sneak up on you.
They can what?
They can sneak up on you. They're so quiet.
They're quiet, yeah. That's the thing. I think that's why people really buy them, because they're really quiet. Now there's another car that's electric. I assume lithium. I don't know that. They make them just over here behind the shopping center. There's a big warehouse there, and that's where they build the atomic cart.
Yeah.
And the reason why people are buying those more than anything, that's the only golf cart, electric cart, I think, that has air conditioning. How good does the air conditioning work? Don't know. I don't have one. But I know a lot of people have bought them. So they seem to be happy with them. As a golfer, I wouldn't want one of them because they got doors on them. And on a golf course, I don't care what anybody tells you, they're always going to make excuses for things. If you have to open and shut your door times to get in and out of the cart to hit a ball, it's just inconvenient. If there's a way you could take the off, or maybe even, what's that one cart we looked at one time years ago where the door, you opened it and then it slid back and it stayed open for you? Remember that?
Yeah.
And we thought about getting one of them because if it starts to rain here all of a sudden, which it does, and you're out in your golf cart, you just reach out, get the door, and you shut it and keep on going. But the reason why we didn't is because when you did that in the summer months, you could feel the cart heating up right away. They didn't have air conditioning back then. So if it had air conditioning, it's very possible I might have got one of those.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's just a matter of how much do you want to spend and maintenance on them. I don't know anything about maintenance on these lithium carts. When they're new, I'm sure they're great, but when they're 10 years old, then what? I don't know.
We see so many people changing to them. Although, like I said, we're not, because we don't use the cart that often, but we see a lot of significant.
To be honest with you, I've actually considered selling my cart because I don't even hardly use it anymore. You're going to find out the longer you're here in the villages. When you first get here, it's exciting. Driveway parties, new neighbors, redesigning the house, getting new flooring, buying new furniture, going to the squares every night, going out and eating, trying all the new stuff. It's great. After you're here 5 years, generally speaking, within that 5 years, you're not going to go to the squares near as much as you think you will. You just get tired of it. You're not going to get tired of going to restaurants, because every time you find a restaurant you really like, 2 years later, they move out, somebody else moves in, and you just get tired of it. So as of now, I think if I had to pick a restaurant that I go to a lot in the villages, I go to Gators in Brownwood on a regular basis.
We do a lot. Our meet and greets we do at Gators.
Yeah.
Because it's normally quiet.
It's quieter in there. I can talk. I can hear you, and you can hear us.
Except on game days. Don't go on game days.
And that's the funny thing, is we never know when game day is. Yeah. I don't keep up with it. You took the whole road coming around that corner.
Well, I guess.
Jeez.
They don't normally come in a truck. Okay. Oh, Racer Girl says, my son is in the Navy and I get to see him in 3 days. I'm so excited. Well, good for you.
Jacksonville? That's where the Navy shipyard, right?
No, Racer Girl's in California, isn't she?
Who?
Racer Girl.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think she's in California.
I don't know where everybody lives.
Well,
just because they're a member of mine, don't assume that I know where they live.
I know. You can't remember your name half the time, so. Rizzo says skipping through.
Actually, I thought Racer Girl lived in Hawaii for a long time.
No, that's Darrison.
Who?
Darrison.
He's in Hawaii?
He's in Hawaii. Yeah. He's actually in the States right now working, I think.
Who lives in a foreign country, but then you said they moved back to California?
Gringo Loco.
Gringo Loco. Mm-hmm. He's back in California now.
I don't know where he's at. I haven't heard from him for a while.
I wonder if Ice got him.
No, I don't think so. William says, Skipping, Sue, you guys should come for a weekend trip to the Keys before we all sail. The closing is scheduled for the 17th. We'd love to, honey, but we'll be on the road the 17th going north.
Yeah, I got to go to my granddaughter's wedding.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have flown up there. I don't know. I don't know. I never know really what to do. I just fly by the seat of my pants.
Yeah, I know. That's why I should make all the decisions. Tin Cup says they said he might be stationed in Hawaii. Well, that'd be cool. Yeah. If you go in the Navy and get stationed in Hawaii. Laura Lampy says, I've had Comcast for many years in suburban Chicago. Very dependable. You know, I think it's all about the people, Laura. You know, it's not necessarily the company. It's just we know what it is down here. And I said we had it up north, and we were fine with it. You know, we had. I think we had Comcast until we went to Direct. Was it? It wasn't DirecTV. It was something else.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I
wasn't listening.
Cable.
We had cable with Right House, and then Spectrum bought them
No,
out.
up north, we had. It wasn't DirecTV. It was the other one.
I don't remember.
Yeah. Okay. I don't either.
In Brownwood, we only had like 2, right? Or satellite dish. I had a satellite dish.
Yeah.
That's right. It was
but
on
what
the
was it? I can't remember what it's called.
Because when it snowed, I had to go up there and clean the satellite dish off. I don't
But
remember what it's called either.
Yeah, it depends on the people who's working there, because like I said, in some other areas they might be wonderful.
And you can have a satellite dish here in my district. The only thing is you cannot attach it to the house. That's the rule. So most of them put in the back of the house, in a flower bed or something. They put a pipe in the ground and they fasten it to that. But you can have a satellite dish here, but just don't put it on the roof of the house.
Meadow 37, does the villages have backup workers to replace the ones that were visited by the law? They've got tons.
First of all, the villages didn't employ any of them people. You guys are getting all this messed up again. I mean, I explained this on the news. Maybe that's coming out this Friday. Maybe that's what it is. It's going to be a lot of finger pointing. The villages didn't hire anybody. They subcontract everything out. The villages doesn't build any houses. They subcontract them out to contractors who build houses. Now, the subcontractors subcontract their stuff out. So they have crews that come in. Buddy! They have crews that come in, and they'll have, like, say, the concrete crew comes in and lays out the concrete. Then the framing crew comes in, and then the roofing crew comes in. It's all done in steps. But the people that does that in steps, like the framer comes in and puts the frame in, he hires people. So the contractor can say, I didn't hire nobody. He hired them. Mm-hmm. So you're going to go to the company that does the framing. Buddy, I'm going to eat you, I swear. He does the frame. Well, he's going to tell people, I didn't hire anybody. I went to a temporary employment agency up here, and I told them I needed 15 guys to work for me for the next 6 months. And they sent me 15 guys. I thought they vetted them. That's what's going to happen. You're going to see finger pointing everywhere. Nobody hired anybody.
Yeah, yeah. But yes, whether they have backup or not, you know, you can go to about any Home Depot or Lowe's early in the morning and see them stand in line to wait to get to work for some of these contractors.
Well, here's how I see it. I'm going to pretend like I'm the developer here, and I'm paying hundreds of $millions a year to these contractors to build these houses so that my real estate company over here can sell them. He said, well, we just lost 14 guys. I don't have enough guys to do this. I'm the developer. If you want to have another year's contract with me, you better get your head out of your ass and get it figured out. That's your problem, not my problem. I write you checks.
Yeah.
Get out of my office and don't bother me.
Wow.
That's what he's going to do. Or, and I've always said this, you can get anybody to build anything here. We don't need foreign people to build anything. People seem to think we do. Who built all this stuff before the foreign people got here? I remember working summers doing stuff like this. There's jobs out there, but the difference is they'll probably have to pay them more money to get it done and offer benefits. And that's what's going to happen.
Jarson's Hanger says, I hear a wrestler bought a nail gun and a ruler. He's ready to start.
Well, I know he knows how to use a nail gun, and I know he knows how to use a ruler, but my guess is it ain't going to happen. Yeah. Buddy, what are you doing?
He's probably stuck. I'm guessing.
I don't know. I can't even find him.
Boo-boo, come here. Yeah, he's stuck somewhere.
Buddy, where you at?
Mike C. just says, does the ARC have to approve Starlink antenna?
Come here. Get out of there.
Oh, well, we don't know.
You what now?
Does the ARC have to approve a Starlink antenna?
I don't think so, as long as it's not on the roof. You can't fasten it to the roof of the house. Then you need ARC's approval. Okay. But I don't think on Starlink it needs. I see them set on the campgrounds. I see them setting them on the ground.
Okay.
So I'm thinking, in a nice way, you could probably just set it in a flower bed somewhere. How you run the wiring? That'd be the thing with me. I don't want to run it through a window or drill a hole in the wall.
Yeah.
I don't want to do
But, you
any
know,
of
it's
that.
really easy to call them and ask them. You know, they'll tell you.
Oh, yeah, you can just call and ask them. They'll tell you. They have no reason to lie to you. I don't want people to think that this is a kind of a con game here. It's not. They just have specific rules.
Yeah.
As long as you follow them rules, you ain't going to have any problem.
Yeah, Becky Forrest says you can get a Starlink Mini for about $200 for your RV or traveling. A friend of mine just bought one.
But there's two different types. You can get the Starlink for traveling, or you can get the home base Starlink. I don't know which is better for you. Me personally, I think the one for the RV would be great, but I'm not, for a part timer like me, it's too much money. I'm not spending that.
Okay.
I'll go to Starbucks.
Rester says, when I was in the Air Force, I requested a base on the East Coast. I got my wish. Unfortunately, it was in the wrong country. I got East Coast of England, coldest and dampest winter I've ever been in.
Ron was stationed in England. That's where he met Margaret.
Yeah, that's true. William says, I've come to find out my body don't make its own alcohol, so that's why I have to drink a case of beer every day. Well, you do what you got to do.
Buddy, again, get out of there.
In central Pennsylvania, we don't have access to Cox, at least in my area near Hershey. Okay. Well, we knew it was before we got to your house, and we kept trying to download some videos, Wrestler, and I said, we tried them all. We tried the library.
We didn't go to a library. Sat there forever.
Yeah. So, and it was a short video, and it took 2 or 3 hours. And we did it because we wanted to get it done. But yeah, it was just really frustrating. And we went to restaurants. We went to McDonald's. Just all different places, and we had no luck with any of them.
That's how I ended up getting this Verizon box.
Yeah. We actually got it up there.
Yeah, I got it up there because it was so bad. I went to a store and I said, I want to get me a temporary thing, but here's what I do. He recommended one particular box with so many gigabytes in it or whatever. And I said, okay. And I mentioned Cox, and he said, yeah. He said, Cox and Verizon fight all the time. They put up something on their thing where your cell phone may not pick up signal right, or it may not work right, or whatever. And so he recommended this box. So I did. And I found out after the first video, that's not enough gigabytes. One video and I was out.
Okay. Gracie says, I'm on the East Coast in Virginia. We have Verizon, Xfinity, and Cox. I use Verizon Fios at $35 a month. It's 300 MBS. No, I don't know.
Verizon limits you on stuff, and then they start throttling it down. But the two temporary ones I was talking about, Starlink is one. There's no throttling. It stays full all the time. And there's another one. I want to say Netgear, but I don't think that was it. Nomad Netgear. Nomad. It's a Wi-Fi thing. You just plug it in, and then it sends out this signal. And what it does is it picks up everything from AT&T to Verizon to what's the other one that's got good? Well, I understand it's got pretty good Wi-Fi too.
T-Mobile.
T-Mobile. That's the top three, and it takes that and somehow it takes it up from the air and sends it into your house
AW says Starlink is excellent, easiest thing out there.
Yeah, that's the one that everybody talks about now is Starlink, and you know, it's just a little pricey. I think $125 a month or something like that for the RVs. I don't know about home. There's two different ones.
Yeah. And Mike C says the stage at Eastport looks huge, but the audience area looks small. Hard to tell from a drone video there. Yeah, they have a way here of kind of keeping the audience to a place to where they've got enough parking. Now, that's the problem they always have it in the squares when they have these big entertainment things going on, and when they have the market and the car clubs and all that kind of thing, they kind of gear everything towards how much parking they've got. So if it doesn't look like the stage is huge, but it doesn't look like there's very much people area, look and see how much parking they got around there. That'll give you a clue. Either that or they're not expecting many. I don't know. But I think it'll be a big venue. I really do.
Well, Edna's down there when they first opened it up. I don't know what it's like now. I ain't been down there, but when they first did Edna's, I said then, I seen what they were going to do with the outside thing there, which I thought was a decent idea. But I said, they ain't got enough parking here.
Yeah.
And then we went over to Sawgrass, and we knew what that was going to be. And the first thing I said was, this parking lot ain't big enough.
Yeah.
And until this day, it's not.
No. Okay.
I don't know how they come up with them numbers. Some engineer somewhere says for this area, you need this amount of parking spots. And I don't know who comes up with that number, because when it comes to an active area like where there's going to be a band, people's going to be dancing and things like that, how do they know how big of a parking spot to make? Like, say, for Sawgrass.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't. It's just like making a highway. They usually have some kind of formula that they use, but it's not working real well.
Well, Brownwood. That's one thing we noticed when we went down there, is a huge amount of parking everywhere. You can't park up by the square every night. So whenever something special going on, like say a July 4th thing, when you go behind the Brownwood area back there, thousands of cars can park back there. But how many times we've been there that
It's full.
they're full?
Yeah. Yeah. And one thing I like on Saturdays at the farmers market, they have a special area for golf carts to park. I mean, you don't have to go behind the buildings, because I'm afraid to park behind the buildings with my golf cart because of golf carts being stolen and what have you. But they have a special area that you can park your golf cart.
Well,
Let it be known,
you can always park on the sidewalk.
Yeah, but it's not a big area, so it does get full. But like I said, right in front of like Five Guys and the Mexican place and
Mexican place.
McAllister's.
Listen to you racist.
It's a Mexican place. Anyhow, Fiesta.
Yeah, a taco joint.
Yeah. AW says, I have an RV with Verizon Home Internet and Starlink. Depends on what works in different areas. They are both exceptional and take about 5 minutes to set up.
I know with Starlink, because I hear it all the time, a lot of it depends for open airspace. You can't be like in the woods, a lot of trees. It blocks the signal to the satellite. But he's sending more satellites up there. Maybe that'll make it better. But that's the only complaint I've heard is that. Yeah, but here in Florida, where I'm at, I'm looking around. Other than a palm tree, we're nothing but open space. There's nothing up there.
Okay, and TR Mains says, I don't work during the summer at all. I'm going to enjoy time with the grandkids. Oh, and by the way, Skip, my sweet husband Tim does a lot of the cooking.
Does a lot of what?
The cooking.
Well, you got him trained, ain't you?
Good for you. And yes, the new area down there is Oak Hollow. That's what they're working on right now. Becky Forbes says, not really. It can happen any time of year in the mountains. She's talking about snow. And Laura says, may all teachers have a restful and enjoyable summer. Yes, they go through a lot. They have your children during the winter months, and when you think about how many hours they spend with them and how many hours you spend with them, yeah, you owe them a lot. Becky Forbes says it snowed there a few days ago. So, and William says, is it true Sumter County meatballs must be a certain size? Not that I know of. I mean, most everything else is, but that's not something they've regulated yet. Nope. Okay. If he's playing with the curtain. Let's see. T.R. Main says, Will Rogers was this famous Okie. Yes. And that's the one I thought of when he said that, but then he kept going, and I thought, no, that's not him. But we used to listen to Roy D. Mercer on the radio, and I think he was from Oklahoma, but funny.
Yeah, from Tulsa. Remember he says Tulsi?
Yeah, Tulsa, Oklahoma, yeah. But he is so funny. And I say he does a call-in show that's hilarious. And you can still find it on, like I said, you can find it on YouTube. And Becky, just remember, if you buy a home from Ira Miller anywhere in Central Florida, Ira will personally come to your house every winter and shovel your sidewalk and driveway for free.
I think he will. He'll trim your bushes.
Yeah. You just don't know. Ira is very good. And Becky says that's a huge bonus she's looking forward to. I'll bet you, especially if you've had a lot of snow. And I said, I'm sure he will. I said, if you get snow, why you call us all and let us know.
It was on his live show last night. I think it was last night. Anyway, he said something about meeting at Brownwood down there. So I guess what's his name? Jason.
JC.
JC. I guess he didn't say. He just so get together at Brownwood at Beer World.
And that's when?
Friday.
Right. Okay. We also got a meet and greet Friday.
That's what I said.
So we'll be there.
I may or may not be there. I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Tara Main says Eisenhower Rec Center was amazing. We went there to check it out. Yeah, it's one of those things. Everybody takes company there, and I said just about everybody. If they've not been in the service, they have relatives that's been in the service, and they're all just wowed by it because there's so much up in there. And
well, I think it's just the fact that you ain't what you expect.
Yeah.
You're expecting a recreation center that's going to be decorated like the military because that's what they advertise. But then when you go in and see exactly what's in there, and then the story behind it, it's like, geez, this is like a museum.
Yeah, it is. It's wonderful. And I would recommend anybody that comes to visit. If you don't have time for anything else, go to Eisenhower.
He was always saying, if I go there and I only got time to go to say, look at a couple rec centers, which ones well, I always talk about the regional rec centers, not the local ones, but Eisenhower's number one, and then I say Lake Meona.
Yeah, I love Lake Meona.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have no real recommendation. I mean, they're all great, but if you're in this area, I say those two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I said the newer ones that they're putting in, I haven't been to all of them yet, but they all have a theme, and they're all spectacular. I mean, I haven't seen one yet that wasn't. And I said I've been in a few of these around in other 55 plus areas, and I said they're just no comparison.
Some of them just kind of look like an old gymnasium.
Yeah.
In high school.
WrestleMania says, well, I must get going. Have to get ready for a video shoot. I will start doing my spiel now. Okay, Wrestler. So thanks to all the YouTube members and Patreon members who help make these shows possible.
And tell that adorable, great-looking wife with a great personality that I said hi.
Yeah. And Jerry Bell says California is a foreign country. That's what they tell me.
It is. California is a foreign country.
Yeah. And then Tara Main says, Skip and Sue, I'm sitting out on my new lanai watching your show. Oh, you got a new lanai, huh? Cool. It's nice, isn't it? Yeah, we're waiting for a guy to come give us an estimate on the mini split to put in our lanai so I can use it. I got the urge to paint the other day, and really that's the only place I've got to work, and it's just too hot. So I'm looking forward to getting.
Well, I already told the guy that was supposed to come out here and look at it. I already told him to F off. So don't worry about it. I don't need your help here anymore. He was supposed to show up Saturday. And so I sent him a text message saying, hey, you didn't show up Saturday. Are you not interested in doing the job? He sent back and said, yeah, I'm interested, but I'm really busy in the summer months like this. So I thought, I don't have your address. The only thing I have is your phone number.
Well,
so then I sent him a text message back saying, oh, you have my phone number, but you couldn't call and tell me?
We freaked out on him on Friday, so I'm.
So I told him, forget it.
Okay.
I'll get somebody else.
We'll find somebody else, yeah. Yeah, and thanks to all the great moderators, too. We love you. You know that. We couldn't do this without you. Jerry and Wrestler and Marcia and Mr. Rizzo, and I don't know how many moderators we got, actually. But
always need more. You never know how many's going to show up. If you guys are going to start a YouTube channel, get as many moderators on doing your live stuff like this. Make sure you get as many moderators as possible because people, especially here, they travel, they get sick. And so we've actually done Porch Settin, I think, a time or two, not very often, where maybe we don't have one moderator. Mm-hmm. And if we get some people on here that's not behaving themselves, that's a lot for one moderator to take care of.
That's right.
So you need at least, I would say, at least 2 to 3 at any given time. Now, if you've got 200,000 or 300,000 people subscribe to your channel where maybe 1,000 people shows up to a live stream, why very many don't show up on a live stream? I don't understand that either, but they don't. It's just normal. They just don't do it. Then you may need a dozen moderators to handle something like that. But for us, we average, I'll say 200 or less on any live stream. Mm-hmm. And so if we have 2 to 3.
Wow, this wind's getting a little bit crazy.
Well, it ain't moving. It's just making noise.
Good.
I'm watching it really close.
Yeah, we're getting to the end here. And Kevin says Daisy Fever is playing Friday night at Lake Sumter. Yeah, and one of the things that I did want to tell, it come out today that Relic, and I know, Kevin, I know you and Karen love Relic, and they are disbanding. They're not going to be They're going to play all their May shows, and but they're not. They're canceling everything for June. They'll be able to do the special show. I think it's in August. But other than that, the band are not going to be together. They're taking the band away. Not going to be together anymore. They'll be able to do their cruise this year. I think in November. But I think that'll be it. And no explanation or anything as to why, but that's kind of their business. But I know a lot of people loved Relic from the time they got here. They've always loved to listen to them. And I'm sure each one of those guys will probably be in it. They'll either start another band or be in another band, or you'll be able to listen to them eventually. But Relic, as they are, will not be.
That's funny, Becky. I mean, I don't know how far behind I am. She says she'll be glad to leave the 50-50 weather up there in Montana, 50 below and 50-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah.
And that's about right, too. I know when I went through there in a truck one time, it was in summer, so it wasn't no 50 below. But it just seemed like the wind was constant.
Yeah. Sam Zager wants to know, when does Costco open? All we can tell you be the last quarter of this year.
Nobody really knows.
Nobody really knows exactly. They haven't actually said anything. There's been a lot of speculation as to August, September, but I think it'll be the last quarter, which there's a lot of places open that last quarter.
People email me, let's see, as early as August and as late as November. A guy that used to work for Costco said that they have a reputation of opening new stores in October. So we don't know.
Yeah.
We just know it's probably going to be the last half of this year. Sometime they're going to open.
Yeah, yeah. Kevin says August 7th. So you just never know. Yeah, the camera is bouncing because we're having some big puffs of wind here every once in a while. That's why the awning went in a while ago. And so we're going to be getting out of here real soon. And like I said before, the awning goes in again. So
Mr. Sylvain says, "Hi, Sue. Are you still in touch with Deb?"
I am. I talk to her every week. I don't go down there as much, and she's had some medical things going on in the last week or so, so I haven't bothered her too much. But I talk to her every week because we had one of those friendships that just lasts forever. Wish she was here, but I know she's good where she's at. So you never know. I may be down there. Okay, Mike C says that YouTuber Streams of Dreams agrees with you. He says Costco will open August 7th. We will see. They are going to town. I'm waiting for the Target over here in Trailwinds to open because
you ever notice nobody talks about that?
Yeah, nobody talks about that.
Brand new Target store being built about the same time as Costco, and it's all about Costco.
Yeah, but it's about done. I mean, I'm expecting any day to see advertisements for to take applications, because they're that close to being done.
Wasn't Richard Nixon from Oklahoma? I don't think so. I think he was from the southern part of California. I remember when he went out, left office.
Didn't we go to the Nixon Library?
Yeah, it was in Yorba Linda, California. I think the name of it. We went to the library, but his home wasn't there. It was just south of there, not too far from Palm Springs, up on a hill. Bob Hope was kind of up there too.
And they had a house there at
I can't think of the name of the town. It's just a little desert. Anyway, but no, he wasn't from Oklahoma. Okay. Johnny Carson, I think, was from Oklahoma, wasn't he? Or Nebraska. See, she says that I never pay attention. What? Are you deaf? Maybe you should get your ears checked.
I wasn't listening to you. How about that? Wiggins says, hello all. I thought it wasn't supposed to get hot down here until the summer. 93 again today. Well, it is summer, Wiggins.
It is summer. The summer you're talking about, if you're talking about a calendar date summer, forget it. Forget it. Throw it out. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Here we have 2 seasons. Cool, hot. That's it. It's cool on Monday, and then all of a sudden Tuesday it's 90 degrees, and it stays 90 from that point on.
Now, the mid 90s and upper 90s, I said, we're not used to that in May. That comes in June and July, but it's still hot.
But they said something about earlier this year. They were talking about getting ready for hurricane season. Everybody's talking about it. Somebody said something about it was either going to not be as bad, or something about changing the hurricane season because of El Nino or El Nino. One or the other, there was a change, and I forget what they said.
well, I said, there's so many people from the weather people that are not on their jobs right now. And
I
I
don't
said,
know the
so,
difference between El Nino and El Nina.
oh, okay, one's warm water, one's cold water.
But what have we been up to this point?
I don't know.
I don't either.
Can't keep track.
But they're saying this changes this year to the other one.
Yeah, well, Wiggins is not sure what else they're opening when they open it, but the new golf
Actually, I
cart
think what I
store.
really read, it just dawned on me that they're expecting out of 10 hurricanes, 8 of them is going to go up the East Coast. Not very many of them is going to come into the Gulf of America to attack us. And that's where we get hit, is when it goes into the Gulf of Mexico and comes in here.
Right. Anyhow, he said, not sure what else is opening when they open, but the new golf cart store in Eastport is open the first week in July. There'll be a lot of things down there that's opening the last quarter. And I said, I think they said the new grocery store down there, the Provisions, I think it opened last week or this week. It'll be in the Middleton area. There's a lot of things to be opening down there at the end of this year.
God, I hear a cow.
You hear a chainsaw. The chainsaw.
Oh, that's not a cow?
No, it's not a cow.
That was a cow.
Kevin says he heard that Eastport open in stages, outdoor amenities, then the pool, etc. Yeah, I think that's the way they're going to do it. That's how they're going to get it done so quick, is because they're opening in parts. And they did the same thing in Brownwood. I mean, when we moved here, Brownwood had food trucks. You know, the stores were there, they just weren't open yet. And so they had food trucks. They had entertainment in the square, but they didn't have any of the restaurants open. So that'll be something.
That was good old days.
Yeah.
No traffic. Take your golf cart straight down there and park anywhere you want.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Hello from Irwin, Pennsylvania. Well, hello, Charlotte.
I don't know when we started, it was 2 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
End it.
Okay. Well, I guess we're going to go.
Oh, you
Don't
don't
go
have
into that.
You don't have anything?
I do, but it's not that much. And since it's after 2, we just go.
All
Biggest thing was, like I said, telling you that Relic was no longer going to be a band here, and we're going to miss that. So see y'all. See you on the other side.